Hi everyone, and welcome back to Harp and Guitar, People and Music. So today's Tuesday, June the 26th, and I'm glad you came by today because I've got a little something special for you here at Harp and Guitar. It's Big Bill Broonzy's birthday. Now, Big Bill Broonzy is a pretty interesting character in blues lore. He's almost a mythical character just because he's got such a huge body of work, and he encompassed a lot of different styles throughout his career. Now, from the 20s right up until the 1950s when he passed away, Big Bill recorded literally hundreds and hundreds of songs. He recorded some as a solo artist, he recorded some as part of an ensemble like his Chicago Five, and he also recorded as a sideman on guitar for other blues artists as well. So he's got a huge repertoire and a massive library. Now, Big Bill was born in Arkansas, and he grew up in that area sort of working pretty much as a sharecropper, and started playing early forms of blues and folk songs in the early 1920s or so. And even as early as then, his musical style encompassed everything from folk music and blues and work songs, ragtime, hokum, country blues, and even some sort of jazzy tinged blues as well. And he was sort of influenced himself by everyone from Jimmy Rogers and Blind Blake to Blind Lemon, even Son House to some extent. But Big Bill was best known for his very complicated and intricate patterns, his finger-picking patterns and style. And he also was one of the early founders of, founding fathers, I guess you could say, of the early Chicago rhythm and blues that started coming up in the very early 40s. Now, right around the early 1950s, there was this sort of country blues or acoustic blues revival that started to come up. It was starting to be associated once again with folk music. And now some of the college and university kids were sort of getting hip to this style of music. So Big Bill sort of became, he sort of stepped into the spotlight once again. And it was just shortly after this that he was one of the first American bluesmen to head overseas into Europe. He toured England and France, Germany, Belgium as well, if I'm not mistaken. And he sort of helped to create that entire fascination that England and the rest of Europe had with American blues. Now, this subsequently would go on to influence the British invasion that brought the blues back to the United States in the early and mid-60s. But during this whole time, Big Bill was the consummate bluesman because he was always reinventing himself. Like I said, he played acoustic country blues, but he also played some really hip and sophisticated, up-to-date and up-tempo rhythm and blues. It was sort of during this folk blues revival that he reinvented himself again because he was brought forward as a big name and a representative of the blues and a great act to hire for some of these festivals. So he reinvented himself again as this sort of Arkansas sharecropping farmer who only plucked country blues and sang country blues songs. When really by this point he had already made dozens of recordings in Chicago as a hip R&B artist. So as you can see, Big Bill was able to keep his finger on the pulse of what the blues listening public wanted to hear, and was able to transform his image or the presentation as a professional entertainer and performer, but at the same time still bringing a lot of what were classic or traditional blues themes to a larger and larger audience. So for today, our little treat here for you at Harp and Guitar is Old Whiskey happens to have a copy of a Big Bill Broonzy record on 78 in my personal collection. And that would be Bad Actin' Woman. See if I can get it without too much glare. Bad Acting Woman on 78. It's Big Bill Broonzy and his Chicago Five, actually. So by this point, you'll hear on the recording, I don't want to spoil it too much, but you'll hear it's a very smoother, more of an urban-sounding blues. It's definitely not any of that country blues or acoustic-sounding stuff that he was doing. It's very professional and polished, and that just speaks to the brilliance of Big Bill Broonzy and how huge of an influence he became, not only throughout blues, but rock and roll as well. So this song was recorded for OK Records in 1945, and once again, stay tuned for Big Bill Broonzy, Bad Acting Woman, right here on Harp and Guitar, People and Music. And before I forget, if you haven't already, please don't forget to like the video, and let us know what you think down in the comments below. And if you have any requests or any questions, drop us a line and we'll try to answer them for you, either myself or my partner here, Monk Music. And also, please don't forget to subscribe. So coming right up, Big Bill Broonzy. Thanks a lot, folks, and have yourselves a great day, and happy birthday, Big Bill. Take care, everyone.
Now we can't get along no more. Yeah, me and my baby, I'm glad we can't get along no more. Now she don't do no better. Ooh, Lord, all the crime got to let her go. She give me headaches and backaches, things that I can't calm. I know it must be catching, cause it's bad in the spring and fall. She's a bad acting woman, and she don't mean no one man no good. I believe that woman would do better if this poor thing just only understood. She was born in March, her mind like the wind. Every time I see her with somebody, she said, boy, that's my friend. She's a bad acting woman, and she don't mean no one man no good. Now I believe she would do better if this poor thing just only understood. She gets in the bed like a bear, her hair all down her face. But the poor thing don't know she's ruined the human race. Now she's a bad acting woman, and she don't mean no one man no good. Now I believe she would do better if the poor thing just only understood. Her hands are like pig iron, her face is like an old new ground. She can drink strong liniment and won't even frown. You know she's a bad acting woman, and she don't mean no one man no good. I believe she would do better now that the poor thing just only understood.